Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, today, man, we're going to be talking to South Africa. Yeah, we're going to head straight to South Africa. Yeah. Now, the gentleman that I got up on the screen is Leon Schreiber, and he is the South African Minister of Home Affairs, right? And what he does is he oversees the immigration process, citizenship, border control, etc., etc. Now, of course, as you can see, this is a white man, but that's what happens when you don't drive the European settlers outside the country. You now have to share and divvy up political power, and now a white man has control over the border. And now today we're going to talk about a recent announcement that was made by this gentleman, Leon Schreiber. Take a look up on the screen. He said, "I am honored to announce that in my capacity as Minister of Home Affairs representing the Republic of South Africa, I have signed a historical agreement granting visa-free access to our country for Ukrainian holders of diplomatic, official, and service passports and vice versa. We continue to see Ukraine as a valued ally, as a valued friend who supported us from the beginning, from the days of our struggle against apartheid, right through to now. I look forward to President Ramaphosa adding his signature to this agreement in the coming week so that we can conclude this important step forward for relations between our two peace-loving nations." Now, where do I begin on this topic, right? Now, I've made multiple videos in the past in regards to the Black South Africans, especially the climate of xenophobia that has taken over the country, mainly towards the Black immigrant population. Obviously, the white immigrant population is not met with half of the hostility. But what's so ironic for me, and I'm not surprised by it, but if you notice that when the Black South Africans take a hardline stance and a xenophobic stance against other Black foreign nationals, you'll see the white South Africans in the background encouraging them, right? Under the guise of protecting our borders, under the guise of being patriotic, right? But meanwhile, when it comes to them, they don't take that same hardline stance against white immigrants, white foreign nationals from white countries and white nations, right? As you can see, they welcome them with open arms, right? The white South Africans roll out the red carpet when it comes to the white immigrants. And don't get it twisted, there's a large white immigrant population in South Africa, right? Y'all got a whole bunch of European descendants in South Africa. Y'all got a whole bunch of British, a whole bunch of French, a whole bunch of Zionists, a whole bunch of Germans. You got Portuguese descendants. Of course, you got the Dutch. Can't forget the Dutch, right? You got the Rhodesians from Zimbabwe. You got some Polish people. You got a whole bunch of white boys down in South Africa, right? And a lot of them are also undocumented, right? You got a whole bunch of white illegal immigrants down in South Africa. But you'll never see a movement, a mass movement amongst the white South African population to drive out their fellow European brothers. Now, of course, they're going to put a battery in your back, right? To go, protect the borders, right? Protect the borders, right? But then they're going to sign backroom deals to get more of their people in here. And I got to admit, it's very strategic on the part of the white South Africans, because they know as they boost their numbers, each white immigrant that comes to the country, that's another vote, that's another boost for their economic power base, right? They understand that as they flood the zone with more white immigrants, they're basically importing more allies to secure their position. Now, let's jump into the article. This development is a poignant show of solidarity by South Africa with the people of Ukraine, an Eastern European country which served as a haven for many anti-apartheid activists during the struggle, and where many exiled South Africans advanced to fight against a racially oppressive regime from abroad with the aid of Ukrainian resources and support. Now, let's jump into some of the reactions on social media. This situation is crazy because I remember seeing this post on social media a few months ago. This brother said this: "The primary role of the new Home Affairs Minister is to increase the Caucasian population in South Africa. It certainly does feel like the early colonial days all over again. Reproduction through immigration." Now, if you notice, according to the statement from the Home Affairs Minister, the visa-free access is being given right now at the moment to Ukrainian citizens who hold certain special passports, right? I forget what was the types of passports they mentioned. Diplomatic passports, service passports, official passports, right? So basically, the Ukrainian elites are the ones who currently have access to this visa-free migration policy. But if you are a student of history, then you understand that this is how it always begins. This is always the first step, right? This is the playbook. The elites are given access first, setting the stage for the general population to follow. And even if you want to place it in the context of colonialism or colonization, that's also how colonization began too, right? At first, it was the diplomats and the administrators, and then the waves of settlers followed, and then a whole population began to spread throughout the country. Right? That's how it starts. Right? You plant the seeds first. Right? So you're gonna send your elites, your businessmen, your diplomats, your high-ranking men, and then they're gonna go get their wives and their families, and then, bro, just this way, it's gonna be a whole little, Ukrainian towns and cities popping up, very soon. I'm telling you, hey, hey. Like I said, man, the white South Africans are not going to stand with you in your fight against immigration. They're going to encourage you in your personal fight against black immigration. But when it comes to white immigrants, listen, they're not going to be telling the white immigrants to go back to their country. Nah, they're going to be like, come on, bro. Let's get this money, bro. And then when you go to the white South African and ask him, hey, bro, I thought we had to protect the borders. He going to look at you like you stupid. You're going to be like, get out my face, stupid Negro. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I didn't say nothing about the white immigrants. I said the black immigrants. Nigga, I didn't say shit about my brothers. Stupid nigga. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. This person said, the South African Home Affairs Minister has announced the grant of visa-free access to Ukrainian citizens to South Africa, notwithstanding the fact that Ukraine is a failed state, which is on the verge of disintegration. But you have some of these foolish Africans in South Africa fighting their own. Now, let's talk about it, right? Because I've seen the xenophobic South Africans try to disparage and denigrate the black migrants that come to their country, calling them refugees, telling them go back to your failed state, right? But I wonder if they're going to keep that same energy for the Ukrainian migrants, right? The Ukrainian migrants fleeing their country, going to all four corners of the earth trying to find refuge. I wonder if they're going to keep that same energy and tell the white immigrants, go back to your fucking failed homeland. Go back to your failed country, nigga. Your country is ravaged by war and displacement. Stay out of our country. I wonder if they're going to keep that same patriotic energy. I really hope y'all do, man. I'm really rooting for y'all. I'm hoping y'all stand on business and keep that same patriotic energy that y'all keep against the black man. Now, let's continue. This person said, I guess white people do look out for one another. For instance, take this scenario. Black African nationals are being deported back to their countries of origin by the same department that is granting free access to white European nationals. Hey, man, listen, man. Hey, let the white boy put a battery in your back if you want to. You know what I'm saying? He going to be in the backroom deal making deals with his brothers while he encourages you to go to war against your brothers. Now, let's continue. This person said, we warn black South Africans, but their Afrophobia and xenophobia against African migrants has allowed the white minority to bolster its voting power by importing white Ukrainians fleeing the war. Psst, damn. Let's continue. This person said, 3 million Ukrainians and 1 million Israeli Zionists are coming in the name of bringing skills. Oh my God. The investors. The investors. Now let's continue. This person said, when black people took political power in 1994, these guys were not sleeping. They have studied the post-1994 black youth and have intelligence files on them, and have concluded that they are not like the youth of 1976 or Abo Solomon Kalushi Malungu. Now, the gentleman that he mentioned there, Solomon Malungu, I believe that was a South African freedom fighter, a black man who was going to war against the apartheid regime, and who represented the exact archetype of black men that the white South African elites feared at that time, right? Young, fearless, educated, intelligent, militant. And that's why they executed him, not just to silence him, but to make an example out of him. Now, let's continue. This person said, Pan-Europeanism at work. Now, it's funny because you'll see a lot of the xenophobic South Africans denigrate the concept of Pan-Africanism. Meanwhile, your white South African brothers are planting the seeds to secure their economic and political dominance for years and decades to come, right? Welcoming their white brothers into the country, visa-free, fast-tracking the migration process, signing backroom deals behind closed doors. The white boy gonna send you off a cliff. He gonna encourage you. He gonna put a battery in your back and say, yeah, go fight against the Nigerian. Go fight against the Zimbabwean. I'm gonna be over here getting money with my brothers, though, right? You can be over there going back and forth with your brothers, though. I'm gonna be over here getting money with mine. Now, let's continue. This person said, exactly what I keep warning about. Watch the population of whites explode to a possible 10 million in just 5 years, and increasing claims of secession, of which it may well be too late, as they will be immediately armed by the Europeans and the Americans. Now, that is a scenario that very well could happen in the future, right? Especially if this is the agenda of the white South African political elite, which is to boost their numbers and consolidate their economic and political power. The Western powers will see them as strategic allies in the region, right? Culturally, they share European roots and heritage. Geographically, South Africa is a very crucial and strategic location when it comes to trade and resources, things like that, right? So with these factors in mind, the West has every incentive to arm them, supply weapons, resources, and political backing to the white South African population. The white South African political elites are already puppets of the West. They're essentially already doing the bidding of the West, right? By supporting Ukraine, backing Israel, things like that. So it's already set in place. It's already set in motion. And y'all know what I'm saying is facts because, hey, the black South Africans love kissing the feet of the Palestinians. Well, go ask your Palestinian homeboys what the Western powers did with the Israelis, right? They backed them, they supplied them with resources, and they armed them. And you already got Israeli immigrants already in South Africa. So listen, keep bickering back and forth with the Nigerian, keep going back and forth with the Zimbabwean. Meanwhile, the Israelis and the British and the Ukrainians, they piling in by the boatloads, many of them undocumented. Now let's continue. This person said, black South Africans, open your brains. Ukraine are welcome, not Africans. Free visa for Europeans, dehumanization for Africans. That is a colonial arrangement for you. Now, listen, man, like I said, man, I just wanted to make this video to highlight the difference in how the immigration conversation happens between whites and the blacks, right? Because I recently seen, take for example, the United States. They recently, there was a whole fiasco about the Haitian migrants or the Haitian migrants in Ohio. So I believe the Biden administration decided to cancel the renewal of the protected status for the Haitian migrants. But guess who was allowed to be extended? Guess whose migrant status was extended? The Ukrainians. Yes, the white immigrants. Yes. See, the white immigrants, they can continue to come to the United States, right? But the black immigrants, they got this shit canceled. And that goes to show you all that protect your borders, all that, patriotic nonsense. That shit don't apply to their brothers. And really, if you pay attention to the European consciousness at the moment, a big conversation they're having is about their population size, right? Their birth rates are in decline. They're talking about they're being replaced, the great replacement, right? So the Europeans have a very deep-seated anxiety about their shrinking population numbers. Meanwhile, the black man's population numbers is set to explode, triple over the next century with, I think, like 40% of the world's population is going to be black. So when it comes to our geopolitical future, we're not having these conversations about birth rates and things like that and being replaced because that's simply not our fight. That's simply not our reality. But somehow the whites have convinced a segment of the blacks to fight this battle on their behalf, right? They were able to put the battery in the backs of the blacks and send them to the front lines to, fight against immigration and fight the population war and all this shit, right? To make sure we consolidate our ranks. And they were able to instill this sense of patriotism inside the blacks to protect the borders. Meanwhile, they're welcoming more white immigrants. They're boosting their numbers. They're reinforcing their numbers domestically and globally. But you over here going back and forth with the fellow black man to protect your borders. Nigga, you are stupid. And I'm not saying that you should not protect your borders, right? That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is don't allow yourself to be used as a pawn in somebody else's game, right? The reality is you as a black man, you're not the one worried about your declining birth rates. You're not the one panicking about your population size shrinking. That is simply not your fight, right? So yes, protect your borders, but don't fight someone else's battle. So when they put a battery in your back and they put you on the front line screaming against immigration, black immigrants, and behind closed doors, they're cutting deals and boosting their own numbers, bringing in the European immigrants to secure their future. At the end of the day, you're going to be the only one looking stupid. And the real game is about long-term survival and power. And if you're not careful, you're going to look back and realize you were fighting the wrong fight all along. But if there's anything you can learn from this, you can see that obviously the European South Africans, the European population in South Africa, they understand the importance of building alliance, consolidating their power, and most of all, preparing for the future. So while you are burning bridges, the adversary is building bridges. And let me just say this. The bridges you burn today may be the ones you need tomorrow. Anyways, man, this is your boy Never Called That's Salim back in the Billy. Yes, indeed. Cash app in the description. Support the channel, man. Support the album. Peace.
No. Feel like I'm 75. Know that your team be full of them traders. You know that can never be mine. I'm grabbing a thought when I drive. I'm back in my zone and we on. She said that she ready to come be my wife. Yeah, hoping I don't do her wrong. I gave her my word and it's bond. I'm best like a lamb. I mean, no chicken and lamb. Accustomed to call me the man. I never be up on the gram. I'm keeping that way undercover. She want me to tell her I love her. I told her I'm breaking the rules. I told her we making the news. Back in my city, they loving me. Standing alone, I'm 100 deep. Enemy plotting and still in reach. They trying to make sure that we underneath. Trying to make sure that we never make it. Coming for power, come get acquainted. Coming for everything that I wanted. Feeling like Drake, but I really wrote it. Feeling like Kendrick, I'm checking names. Gotta roll up while I go insane. Got so much stress, I been gained weight. Stuffing these racks in this Louis case. One thing for certain, I'm about to check. Keep it 100 and nothing less. Stick with the family since day one. Had to stay down till my day come. Had to stay down, but I'm never patient. Hop on the mic and I'm motivated. Hop on the mic and I drive a classic. Haters can't see me, they copping glasses. Back in the studio making magic. Got a new tape and it's in production. Back on my business, I got a budget. Staying low key when I'm out in public. Feel like I'm 75. Know that your team be full of them traitors, you know that can never be mine. I'm grabbing a thought when I drive. I'm back in my zone and we on. She said that she ready to come be my wifey and hoping I don't do her wrong. I gave her my word and it's bond. I'm whipping the best like a lamb. I mean, no chicken and lamb. Accustomed to call me the man. I never be up on the gram. I'm keeping that way undercover. She want me to tell her I love her. I told her I'm breaking the rules. I told her we making the news. Making it news, making it news, breaking the rules, yeah, know that we making it news.